Welcome to Doing Business Gently. If you're a woman over 50 who has built a business alongside personal health challenges, caregiving, and the ever-changing world of entrepreneurship, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Marta Gertson, and on this show, we talk about building a simple and sustainable business that fits your current season of life and doing that gently from a place of rest. In this episode, we are continuing the series on rest and the types of rest that we need, and what are some of the things that we can do to give ourselves the types of rest that we need. We first started out with mental rest and giving yourself a brain break. And then we also talked about emotional rest, that freedom to feel without filters, to quit stuffing our emotions down and ignoring them. Now, this episode, we're talking specifically about physical rest. And as we keep saying, when it comes to physical rest, a lot of times the first thing we think of is go take a nap, get to bed early, get up at the same time. And these are all fantastic things to do. And if you need to go take a nap, go take the nap. And if you need to develop better sleep hygiene, go do that. But that's not the only thing that we're talking about here, because ways that our bodies learn to rest and relax and release stress doesn't always mean getting more sleep. But we as women, as Christian women entrepreneurs, as women who are nurturers and take care of others and are trying to do the best that we can, we have learned to ignore the signals that our bodies are giving us. Now, we give grace to other women that we know are working hard and they're trying to balance life and family and caregiving and business and still show up really well for their clients. But we tend to forget to do that for ourselves because we have learned to pour ourselves into other people. And we forget that sometimes we need to pour into ourselves as well. And we forget to pour into ourselves in such a way that we're listening to the signals that our bodies are giving us. And there is a correlation between business and how our bodies and our minds and our emotions are doing. If our business is doing well, a lot of times our energy is just going straight to that. Keep going in that direction, doing everything that we have been doing without checking in first to saying, is that going well, that particular version of success, is that really sustainable in the long term? And what is the cost to get us there? And then other times when our businesses are not doing well, we're still pushing, we're still going, and we're still ignoring the signals our bodies are giving us because we're trying to keep all the balls in the air and juggling all the plates and making sure we don't drop anything. And I say all this from experience. I know what it means to juggle all the plates and trying not to let them fall. I know what it's like to balance the business and caregiving and health challenges and family. And then just living life, including walking the dog, getting the dishes done, getting the laundry done. But there has to be a way for us to kind of find our way through the middle. That yes, we do have a business to run. Yes, we have family that we want to take care of and be present for. Yes, we want to take care of our homes. We want to take care of our clients. But we can't forget us in the process. So yes, sometimes that means you need to get to sleep earlier. You need to find a way to slow down in the evenings and get ready to go to bed. Sometimes that means taking a closer look at why you're having insomnia, why you're having those aches and pains in the morning. But sometimes it is also about taking the time to just slow down and listen. And this is something I've been learning through the help of a wonderful counselor, of slowing down long enough to just say, okay, what do you need today? Our body is so used to us ignoring what it's trying to tell us that it might feel a little shocked to say, what do you need today? And sometimes what it needs is just for you to sit still. Sometimes it means you need to get up and walk. Sometimes it means that you need to go drink something, that it's craving water, or it's craving a healthy meal, or it's craving a little bit of chocolate. That's the one that pops up for me a lot. I like my chocolate. So learning to figure out what type of rest we need, and when it comes to physical rest, a lot of it is about listening. It's about habits and routines, and then examining those habits and routines from time to time. Because the reality is that you are the asset of your business. And so if you're not paying attention to what you need mentally, emotionally, physically, and in the next episode, we'll be talking about spiritual rest, then that asset that you are is not being maintained, is not being taken care of. What is an asset? An asset is something of value. And what is value? Something of worth and importance. It's something that is a priority, something that you take care of and invest in. Your business is an asset. Your website is an asset to your business. Your car is an asset. Your home is an asset. Money itself is a tool. It's an asset that we use in our business, in our day-to-day lives to take care of our businesses and our homes. So why do we forget to take care of ourselves in the process? Because we are the most important asset of our business. So what does it mean to protect us, the asset, and to take care of us, the woman who is running the business and taking care of the family? And the number one thing is to listen, to tune in, because your body tries to talk to you every day. The trick is to listen in and interpret what it's saying. And this is a learned skill. This is something we can learn to do again. It's not always easy. And I got to tell you, sometimes it feels really weird to say, okay, I'm listening. What do you need today? But to pay attention and ask, are you hurting? Are you hungry? Are you cold? Are you too hot? Are you not feeling well? So taking time to check in and see how your body feels can help you start to see what areas need to be addressed. And this is, again, a learned skill. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. One thing my counselor has told me over our sessions is sometimes you need to soften and slow. And sometimes softening just means sitting in a chair and breathing and letting your body sink into the chair. And then doing a body check, just checking in with your body. Okay, what's hurting? What's bothering me? What's not feeling right? And that's an easy way to start this process of understanding what type of rest that your body needs. And there are other times that for me, I'm restless. I've actually started to look at movement because I process emotions, I process stress, I process thinking through movement. That's one of the reasons I walk my dog every morning. But now I'm starting to add movement in the evening. Nothing drastic, nothing time consuming. I like to get up on my rebounder for a couple minutes. I like to stretch. I like to work on some strength training. I'm really working on my wrist strength and agility because I'm on my computer so much. And all of that, a lot of times, is what my body needs to slow down, to soften, and get ready to go to sleep or get ready to do some journaling or getting ready to just do whatever I need to do for the rest of the evening. And sometimes that needs to happen during the day. Sometimes I need to get up and go walk the dog around a little bit. And she's very happy to go with me. Sometimes it's getting on my rebounder just for a couple of minutes and kind of shaking out the stress of the moment. So are you paying attention? Are you tuning in to what your body is telling you it needs? And yes, of course, sleep. Are you getting enough sleep? Sometimes it may seem like it's a luxurious thing to get into bed early, but it is vital because sleep deprivation and sleep debt is a real thing, and it does impact our business, impacts our health, and impacts our ability to be there for the people we want to take care of. And there is a really interesting article that I ran across years ago, and I actually checked it out the other day. The link to the article is no longer working. But there's a quote there by a guy named Tony Schwartz. And he said, by managing energy more skillfully, it is possible to get more done in less time, more sustainably. Now, I really like the sound of that, especially when it comes to doing business gently. But if we're managing the energy of our bodies, we do have to pay attention. We have to tune in. We have to check on our sleep and how are we doing? But it's also about having fun. When is the last time you went and laughed? When is the last time you went out and sat outside? When is the last time you went and just took the afternoon off of your business to just be? So there's a lot of layers to this type of rest. For me, I call restivities. And a friend of mine gave me this term years ago. She says, oh, you're talking about restivities, restful activities. Because sitting down all the time at our desks can become an issue. Or if you watch TV and you're just sitting there for hours at a time, or if you're on your phone doom scrolling or just scrolling and you're zoning out, that is not restful. Where getting up and walking outside can be restful. And just like we mentioned in a couple episodes ago when it came to mental rest, when you feel like your body is at capacity, capacity is not fixed. It is resource dependent. And by resource, I mean, are you giving it the water it needs? Are you eating healthy foods? Are you limiting those sugars? And I don't like that one, but yes, are you limiting the sugars? Are you giving yourself enough rest? Are you paying attention to what your body is trying to tell you? And if you are depleting your resources over and over again, then yes, your body is going to start complaining. And there are times when your body is going to complain enough that it just says, I'm done. One thing I have learned through my journey with chronic health issues is that pacing is a real thing. And I struggle with pacing. And something else my counselor has taught me in our time together is that time and space for me is medicine. And eventually I tacked on the word pace. So take the time, make the space, and find your pace. Because with those three things, you can be successful. It may take you longer, but you will get there. But if you're constantly trying to push yourself beyond the brink, and if you're pushing the body beyond what it feels like it's able to do today all the time, there's a price to be paid for that. So what do? We're learning to tune in. And maybe it's having a journal next to you. Say, you know what, my body's hurting here. What did I do today? Did I sit at my desk too long without getting up and moving around every once in a while? Did I forget to drink water? Did I skip a meal? Did I get to bed too late? Something that happened to me just recently is it was the end of the month and I was trying to get everything done. It was an unusually busy month, especially that week. And so I got a lot done during the week, but then I felt so behind that I did something I don't normally do anymore. I worked on a Saturday to get caught up. By Sunday, I was toast. My brain was telling me it was done. My emotions were all over the place, and my body said, yeah, no, you're not sitting at that desk anymore. It was time to get outside. It was time to go work in the garden. And it was time to have a little bit of fun. And fun for me that day was sitting outside, coloring, getting up and working in the garden, taking some more rest, go sitting out in the sun, go play with my dog a little bit. And that's what my brain, my emotions, and definitely my body needed. But it took time for me to listen enough to hear what was being told to me. And again, it does sound weird to listen to your body and just check in. But it's probably because we have forgotten how to do it and we have forgotten how important it is. And when we ignore our body, eventually it's going to say, hey, it's going to wave the white flag and say, I am done. And that's going to impact our ability to do business well, to serve well, to show up and be there for our families. I know that in my pacing, I have learned that I have limits. And if I do not pace myself, if I don't make that space and take the time to check in, my body will tell me that, yeah, you've overdone it. And I hear this from other women, that when they're constantly pushing beyond their capacity of that day, of that moment, they pay for it too. And when we do that, it does impact us mentally. It does impact us emotionally. And of course, it's going to impact our business. If we go back to that quote by Tony Schwartz, by managing energy more skillfully, it's possible to get more done in less time more sustainably. How do we do that? We tune in. We check in. We listen for the signals that our body is trying to tell us. We check on our sleep. Are we getting enough? Are we getting good quality sleep? We also look, are we having some fun? And then we also ask, are we moving? Are we getting up and are we exercising? Are we getting up from the computer from time to time and stretching and drinking enough water? Are we giving ourselves healthy food? And really, one of the simplest things that you can do starting today, right now during this episode, is just check in. How's your body doing? What has it been trying to tell you? What have you been ignoring? Because you are the asset. You're the asset of your family. You're the asset of your business. You personally are an asset. So it's time for you to start treating yourself as one and quit pushing it all the time beyond its capacity so that you constantly feel exhausted and tired. And if you're not someone who does that, good for you. Encourage your friends to become more like you, to listen in, to pay attention, and remind each other that we are assets. We are important. We are worth taking care of. And something I like to tell myself and something I like to tell my clients on a regular basis is that you and your business are worth resting for. And so if you are wondering what type of rest you need, because we have talked so far about the mental, emotional, and today we talked about physical, and we're going to be talking about spiritual rest. And then I have a special surprise episode for you after that, a fantastic panel discussion about this idea of finding the rest that you need. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. But if you would like to get more detailed information on for you, what type of rest that you need, I'd invite you to take my rest quiz. It's at itstartswithrest.com/quiz. And you just answer a few questions and it's going to give you a report back on what is the primary type of rest that you need right now. And feel free to go back and take that quiz again because your results may change. Sometimes we need to emphasize one type of rest over the other, depending on the season, depending on what's going in our business. So join me in the next episode. We're going to be talking about spiritual rest. I'll also have links in the show notes to the prior 2 episodes talking about why we need rest, mental rest, and emotional rest specifically. And take the time to listen to your body today. Start practicing that of checking in. Say, what do you need today? How can I help you? How can I thank you for being there to support me and help me move around? Help me to do what I need to do. How can I turn around and support you today? Again, it's going to feel like a really funny question, but your body will thank you for it, and you're going to learn so much and learn to identify the signals your body's been trying to give you that it's going to be thanking you for paying attention. I'll see you in the next episode.